Hey, hi. Welcome to Shreya's newsletter number 42 and our podcast. Appreciate you being here so we can connect weekly on interesting topics. And This podcast is on Apple and the Spotify podcast, and our show name is Minimalist Techie on both Apple and the Spotify podcast. If you want to listen to this audio, you can just log into sridhargaripati.substack.com, or you can just check your email and you can just click on the play button in order to hear directly on your email, or go to site into website. There are no ads in the website. Just go to the website sridhargaripati.substack.com, click on the play button in order to hear it directly, or if you already have it on your phone, Apple Podcast or Spotify, just subscribe to the show Minimalist Techie so you can get the episodes as they get posted. So this weekly newsletter is mostly about the article, books, videos, basically which I read or watch, and my views on different topics which revolves around my head during the week. Now let's dive into this week's reads. So the very first topic is something point of interest to everyone. This is keeping up with Joneses. So this is everyone has it. Call it as in US it's called keeping up with Jonas, and then keeping up with your next neighbor, keeping with your Murti next to your home, something of that sort. Let's talk about keeping up with Joneses. This is the most often topic in most of the homes. Every home this will be discussed. Last week we talked about rice ban, and it was more of a rant. So this week instead of rant, I want to focus on solution talking more. So someone is having a BMW or an Audi car. We are having Nissan Altima as an example. See, they are living in a rich lifestyle. They are enjoying their life a lot. Why don't we buy the same car or even a little higher range than that? Everyone in our group actually buys BMW or an Audi. Why do we drive a Honda? Why do we drive an Altima? Right? Do you remember this type of discussion at your home? Maybe not car, some other possessions. This topic comes up way more, and every time one struggles to explain to their partner that we don't need to keep up with the Joneses. Or in some cases, we will see that the conversation goes into trap, and one is buying high-end car just because their colleague bought it or their friend bought it, neighbors had the toy, right? Even it was no need for them, so it is just so it's either a pretty stressful situation in order to explain the situation with your in order to explain you to your partner, or one is getting into the trap actually, right? Because if your partner is saying, okay, so they have bought the bigger house, they have bigger yard, they have a big deck on, we should also have the same deck, which means you're also getting into the same trap sometime, right? Oh, okay, let's go ahead and in, break this entire deck and build a newer one of a bigger size, build a home, build a pool outside, right? So you'll there also be a scenario where instead of this is a stressful situation if you have to explain to your partner, or you may end up also getting a situation where you're getting into this trap as well, right? In order to keep up with them, you're also getting into the same page with them and ending up buying a bigger car or ending up buying a bigger home or doing a bigger home improvements. Keeping it short, as many of us face knows the situation. So let's talk about how to deal with the situation. Yeah, last week when I did a rice rant, sorry if any one of you guys felt that that was offended any one of you. Didn't want to offend your way of living or your way of eating certain type of a produce or your rice eater every day. Yeah, it's definitely it's a concern for you. I didn't want to offend anyone, but that is my point of view, right? So this time I don't want to write the article in a rant perspective. I just want to discuss how to discuss with your partner so you should not getting into that trap, right? So dealing with the pressure in order to keep up with others lifestyle or financial choices can be pretty challenging actually, right? So we will discuss few suggestions actually in order to address this issue regarding possessions, home buying, or home improvement topics where this comes up a lot. Comparison of possessions, right? The headline explains it. This is about when partner wants to have possessions like car, neighbor has a bigger car, neighbor has a big jeep, bigger, he has a big van, right? Or talk about neighbor has a gold, they have diamonds, they have a backyard setup, they have that type of sofa, they have a bigger TV, they have latest high-end phones, they have flip phones. The list goes on and on. To address such discussion, if your partner and you getting into this type of discussion in order to keep up with your lifestyle with your neighbor or anyone else, your friends, anyone else, right? Maybe your own sister, your own brother, who don't know, right? It can you can keep up with anyone else as well, right? Don't know with whom you're having insecurity, whom with I'm having also insecurity, right? This discussion comes with every household. I'm not saying that even this discussion happening at my home also, right? So I'm not denying that this is happening in every home. So let's see how to address such type of discussion. First, you need to acknowledge the feelings of your partner. Yeah, acknowledge your partner feelings and let her know that it's okay to have such an aspirations. At the same time, express your contentment with what you have, and that material possessions don't define your happiness. That's important, right? So start your conversation with a positive note, acknowledge their feeling, then start with an explanation. Don't directly give a 10 bullet points, say that this is why we should not buy a home, this is why we should not buy that next level of car. Don't give that straightforward answers, okay? So acknowledge them, hear to their feelings, make value based decisions at home. Make financial decisions based on your shared values between you and your partner and your long term goals. Emphasize the importance of financial stability, right? That's very important, right? What is your someone else financial stability doesn't make your own financial stability, right? You should have your own financial stability. Someone else income is not your income, right? Your income is your financial stability. Saving for the future, living within your means. So get your partner into a value-based decisions. Define success. Encourage each other to define success on your own terms rather than comparing yourself with others. This is what happens a lot in parenting as well. You see that we end up comparing our kids with some other class topper, or sometimes we are comparing our own kids with our own kids. Sister is getting a first rank compared to you, your brother is getting a first rank compared to you. You are not getting that. You are not getting into a top grad school. Your sister is getting into top grad school. Your brother is getting into a top grad school. Happens in parenting as well. So stop comparing yourself with others. Define your success based upon your own terms. Success can be measured in a various ways, such as your own personal growth, experiences you are learning through your journey, you having a fulfilling relationships in your journey. That's what defines success. Communicate financial goals. If you have to repeat, have this as a dinner conversation as well, right? If you are a financial expert, that's a more sexy topic between your partners. If you are able to having a dinner conversation of your financial goals, right? Discuss your financial goals and the priorities as a couple, right? Together discuss it. Together discuss what as a couple, how much you are bringing to the table. Yeah, you both are equal here. You don't have to bring same amount of income, right? You just have to contribute your own level of your own contribution towards it, right? Doesn't matter someone is bringing 70, other one is bringing 30. Just make it your 100 if your goal is 100, right? So give your 100 percentile to what you bring to the table and discuss your financial goals, priorities based upon what you bring to the table, what as a couple. Even one person is working, it's okay. Just see you as a one single unit, and then see what as a power couple what we have as a together. Create a budget that aligns with your shared objectives and keep your financial situations in mind always. Yeah, this will actually help in order to avoid getting into comparing positions. This will set at a high level when you start defining what's success for you, what matters for you, what are your financial goals, right? What amount of money you can throw it for a vacation, right? Not everyone can throw same amount of money towards their vacation, right? So, what's your financial goals? Define the financial stability, create your own budget, have a shared objectives in order to keep your financial situation in mind when you're getting into such type of comparison mode for positions. Home buying or home improvement comparison. This is also second most faced situation is home buying or home improvement comparison. Like someone else is buying a 1.5 million home or a 900K home. Okay, and why we are not buying like them? One, keeping their blind spots on here without looking at their own family income. You say if a family is making 700K, you're getting into comparison with someone buying 1.5 million home, right? You're again getting into a same type of situation which we explained earlier. So same applies to related to keeping up with Joneses, right? So same applies to the home improvement, home buying as well. So it applies to not just home buying. Example, home improvement comparison as well, where one is looking for much bigger deck because your neighbor has it, or a pool in a backyard because your neighbor also having it. That you seems to be their life is more gorgeous than yours, right? To address such discussion, if you're getting into this discussion as well, educate about financial risk. If someone is planning to spend 50% of their income on a mortgage, discuss the potential financial risk of such high debt to income ratio. Educate your partner about the importance of managing mortgage payment that allows for financial flexibility. If you have your mortgage payments, rent payments 30 to 35% of your total income, you'd be pretty able to do rest of your stuff, right? You can save for your child education, you can save for your retirement, you can save for your vacations, right? You can save in order to purchase some in order to improve your day-to-day lifestyle, goods for you in order to improve your lifestyle, right? But if for what happens if for all you are spending more than 50% just for your housing, right? Which means you have to cut back on your child education, you have to cut back on your retirement, you have to cut back on your vacations, right? So educate your partner about the financial risk. Set a clear budget limitations. Determine a reasonable budget for your own home purchase. Right? Have that a discussion, right? Or talk money to your partner, especially if you're getting into this situation. Please sit down calmly, hear each other out, right? How much aspirations you have doesn't matter if you on table you both are having 500K. There is no point in having aspiration of 1.5 million, right? You got to work with what you have, or you don't want to settle for less, then start making start adding your skills in order to make income in order to buy 1.5 million home, right? So that's why set to a clear budget limitations. So this will actually the budget for your own home purchase, considering the factors like your what is your current income, how much expenses you are currently having, what is your long-term financial goals like financial retirement, child education fund, your stock market portfolio. Stick to a budget that provides financial security and allows for savings. Financial planning. Work together to create a comprehensive financial plan. Include aspects like saving for emergencies, retirement, and other future goals. This will help provide a broader perspective on your financial well-being. I'll explain you this once again. The aspect of saving for emergencies. If a person is spending 50% for their housing, 20% because he is getting into a car loan in order to get a luxury car which he cannot afford, right? Those type of people, it looks pretty gorgeous for you when you look at Instagram. Looks pretty gorgeous when you have them use their car outside, parked in their parking lot, right? Looks pretty gorgeous. But just see when the guy's car is broken down, he need to get a new car. He don't have an emergency fund in order to go and buy a car with the cash. He'll be again getting into one more round of financial debt. Yeah. Ask someone living such a high, how to say that, like someone is burning their income like that, 50%, more than 50% in housing and maintain their car. Ask them suddenly you need to book a travel plan, and you need to book a business class ticket, or even you need to book a economy class ticket for $4,000, and in order to go for travel and come back you need $3,000. Ask them to shell out $10,000 for a 1 month trip. They don't have that amount of money because they're burning everything in their housing and their day-to-day expenses. Okay? So it's very important that you discuss your financial planning together. Yeah? Prioritize your needs versus wants. Distinguish between needs and wants in home buying process. Focus on finding a home that meets your essential needs while being mindful of different extravagant features that may not be necessary. Avoid overextending. Remind each other about importance of not overextending financially to buy home. Overspending on a house can lead to a stress and a financial strain in the long run. You need to be understand this. Right? If you are the one who is paying the bills, you know this already. If you are not the one who is paying the bills, I recommend you to look into your partner income and bills. You can feel that heat. So avoid. Right? If you are overspending on any of your purchases, that can lead to you financially get stressed, and that's going to impact you physically, mentally as well. Seek professional advice. Consider a financial advisor or a mortgage specialist to get a personalized advice tailored for your financial situation, right? Rather than, yes. So overall, fostering an open communication and understanding between you and your partner is essential. Focus on focus on building a life that aligns with your values, financial capacities, and long-term aspirations, rather than trying to match others' choices or lifestyle. Remember that each individual's financial journey is unique, and what matters most is achieving financial stability and contentment within your means. That's most important. Yeah? Yeah, please read the article. Not sure how much my 10 minutes of audio made sense to you. Please read the bullet points again and again, right? We don't want, this will actually want to help each and every one who is currently facing this type of situation in order to deal with a partner, or so that you guys as a power couple on the same page, or don't get into a trap your partner and then get yourself into financial stress. All right. Moving on to the second topic, gender equality in Sweden. So I ran into a person from Sweden and had a conversation with him over a basketball court. We were discussing in USA the daycare cost, home rents, home prices, a typical man discussion. While in conversation, he mentioned that for near than 5 years he was stay-at-home dad. I have read many articles, blogs earlier about stay-at-home dads, but this was the first time talking to someone who has done that role. We went into deep to our discussion talking about stay-at-home dad, wife as a main breadwinner in the home. Now both work in USA. That's different story. Right now they're both working in USA. I was actually amazed by the culture of their family by end of the conversation. See, I have understanding of India and US culture as I have stayed in these two countries. I have I read lot. Sometimes I read lot of books, and when I think coming to the cultures, see Indian culture I understand because till age 25 I was is in India, right? 24, and after that onwards I have been in US. So I have seen fair amount of life in India. I have seen fair amount of life in US. I had understanding of cultures, but every culture has very different point of view and a pretty strong points which we all can learn from each other. Yeah. See, I have earlier also a couple of years back. I think I have read many Japan school system. Japan school system. That's a different topic actually. I love this school system. I have to say that Sweden really amazed me. After a while, I talked to someone who is not from. It's been a while. I have because normally my day-to-day communicators are either people from US or India. That day, I walked out about that conversation in my head. I know so little. There are still a lot of cultures out there. So much of good to learn from different cultures. So did some reading, mainly short blogs. YouTube videos to learn about it more. For sure, I need to spend more time, pick a book to understand how their families have such culture. Yes, I read books for detailed information as books are the place where one can get a deep detailed information on any topic of interest. An article, a YouTube video will easily get away for a period of time. So for sure, we will talk about this in next podcast when I will read books on Sweden gender equality. So more to come, but for now, from this week's learning and little bit of learnings when I said reading a couple of articles based upon the discussion with the uh, uh, I won't. Oh yeah, no, sorry, I should not take their name. Privacy issue. So after discussing with them with 2 hours of conversation, reading the books and reading, I haven't read the book in detail. I need to do a deep dive. But going through a few good YouTube links and then understanding, oh, this is why this type of culture why they have in their home, right? So for now, from this week's learnings in Sweden, the concept of gender equality is deeply ingrained in society, including in matters of family and finances. Swedish culture promotes a balanced sharing of responsibilities between men and women, both in the household and in financial matters. Here are some key points about gender roles and the financial responsibilities in Swedish families. Gender equality. Sweden is often recognized as one of the most gender equal countries in the world. This extends to various aspects of life, including family dynamics and financial responsibilities. Close family relationships afford a person better health and well being, as well as lower rates of depression and disease throughout their lifetime. Right? That's what I mean by family dynamics. Who is most healthy in a family? Who can do certain type of a job? Who should be stay at home? Entire family decides together. See, being financially responsible involves making a plan of your money and sticking it as much as possible, right? That's what financial responsible means. Making a plan for your money and sticking to it as much as possible. Controlling where your money goes means you could save for emergencies, stay out of debt, and even build a good credit. All of these things could help you achieve financial security. Sharing responsibilities. Swedish couples typically share both household and financial responsibilities. It's common for both the partners to contribute financially to the household, whether through their earnings or through other means. Dual income households. Majority of Swedish households are dual income households, where both partners work and contribute to the family income. This reflects this commitment to the gender equality and the belief that both partners should have equal opportunities to pursue careers and contribute economically. So this is not that much different. In US also you will see dual income households a lot. So it's not something pretty new, but we'll see. Next one, I will understand more when I talk more other topics like parental leave. Sweden offers generous parental leave policies at a government level, allowing both mother and father to take time off work to care for their children. This encourages shared parenting responsibilities from the early stages of the child life. See, parents in Sweden are entitled to a total of 480 days of the parental leave per child. These 480 days are split into three parts. 90 days are designated for each parent, so both get three months of parental leave, and the remaining 300 days can be shared between them. So any one of them can share 300 days, which is almost 10 months, right? So a financial decision making. Financial decisions are often made jointly in the families with both partners discussing and agreeing on a major purchases, investments, and financial goals. This includes decision about savings, investments, and the major expenses like housing and education, because both are participating towards family income, right? Financial decision making. So, what's the reason why these guys have that type of a skill set? Is because they are they're having a financial education in their schools. Yeah, you heard me right. Never seen in Indian school where I studied money was talking about. I can't even talk money with my own wife. She's not ready to discuss about money, right? Many you see our families back home in India, they're not ready to talk about money actually. Don't know why. But that's the most thing on your day to make sure you want to pay your rent. You need, unless you are not talking about the money, you need to talk about money always, right? So in Swedish schools often emphasize financial education, teaching students about budgeting, savings, and making informed financial decisions. So this is something is been integrated in the school system. This contributes to a culture of financial responsibility among both men and women. Legal protections. See, Sweden has laws in place to protect the gender equality, including regulations against the gender-based discrimination in the workplace and the financial matters. Right? So you have to make sure you are not, see, if it's a male-dominated country, then most of the workers are male in your team, right? So in order to bring the equality, these type of legal protections are needed at the workplace, right? So you have to make sure that you are having to make sure that you also should not bias your you should not be biased your knowledge, right? You should not have any, even a conscious biasing should not be having, right? That girls won't be working that much compared to the boys, right? That's like a ridiculous statement, right? Everyone can work hard, everyone can sit for a 1 hour and study a book, right? Everyone can do it. It's not a skill set related to a gender, right? So, in order to avoid such type of bias situations, legal protections are needed, right? An attitude towards gender roles. Swedish society tends to have more progressive attitude towards traditional gender roles. This means that men and women are encouraged to pursue their interests and careers based on their abilities and their passions rather than predefined gender roles. Right? You have noticed in US, if you go to any school system, 70% of school teachers are women. Why? Don't, right? There has to be some gender stuff going on, right? So you have to make sure factory workers are always men, right? So this you can see in any industries actually, right? Any industries you'll always see it, right? So it's important that we allow raise our kids. We should encourage them so that they can pursue their own interests and careers based upon their abilities and passions rather than predefined gender roles. That's important, right? Changing norms. While the majority of couples in Sweden share financial responsibilities equally, it's important to note that individual couple arrangements may vary based on personal preferences and circumstances, right? See, it's not about you both working, you both are equal. No, no one is equal, man, right? You together you are complete. Together you raise a kid. Together you make a home, right? It's all about your togetherness. You are if one is bringing 70 to the table, other is bringing 30 to the table, but maybe other is taking care of raising your kid at home, right? Just look at your day-to-day perspectives. You'll clearly know. You'll stop judging your partner, right? So when I say equal, don't have to. You are bringing 70, other person doesn't have to make 70, right? Together, your plan is to make 100. Together, make sure you're bringing that much, right? That's important. That makes you a power couple, right? That's what I aim for in my life. Me and my wife, we want to be a power couple in our families, right? We want to be a, I want to set up an example. Me and my wife, we want to be an example for the next generation so we can break those type of barriers from Indian culture, right? So that's the reason why this topic was so exciting for me. And this is like gender equality was there in India, gender equality is there in US, right? All the stuff which I have talked about, yeah, definitely parental leave is nothing in US, that's for sure, right? And you can see financial education is not there in US, not there in India, right? Legal protection laws are there in both multiple places, but being entire society, right? Raising your own kids without any gender norms. Stop raising your girl child with a Barbie, boys with cars, right? Don't generalize them, right? That is all for this week. And once I read a book, this is a pretty interesting topic for me. I think if an entire society is been like this, which means there is an entire society is having a culture in order to raise a kid, right? Just think about, right? That guy has really raised me. That how he has such an open, broad mindset. How his wife is having such a broad mindset, right? That those are real power couple, right? So I really want to deep dive on this topic. Once I do any deep dive on with pretty good authors, who can explain the culture, why the men and women are raised like this in Sweden, I'm gonna do another deep dive. Maybe I think I'm going to fall in love just like the Japan school system. I may fall in love with Sweden gender equality topic. Right? Let me read more and then I can come back. That is all for this week. See you again. And do let me know in comments on the post or reply me on email if you're subscribed to this. And or on the side, you can just click on the comment. So share, like, subscribe, whatever these days kids says. Stay connected, share ideas, spread happiness. Thank you. Bye bye.